Today's episode is brought to you by Earth Culture Roots, your one-stop shop for all things Rastafari, Jamaican, and Caribbean. Earth Culture Roots comes... Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is brought to you by Earth Culture Roots, your one-stop shop for all things Rastafarian, Jamaican, and Caribbean. Earth Culture Roots carries all your white, black, green, and gold products, including clothing, records, CDs, incense, and all essential oils. Their products are custom made and not cheap stuff from China. Earth Culture Roots also ships to all 50 states and accepts all major credit cards. They also have a very generous money-back guarantee. Give them a call at 760-295-1280 or 760-672-5383 or order online at earthcultureroots.com. That's earthcultureroots.com. Those phone numbers again, 760-295-1280 or 760-672-5383. earthcultureroots.com on the World Wide Web. Ras Charles will be glad to serve you. Ladies and gentlemen, good day, good day. Welcome to Rock the Mic with Garfield Waller. My guest this evening is a very interesting gentleman. He is none other than Billy Mystic, lead singer, frontman for the group Mystic Revealers, and he's also one of the world's top surfers. Imagine a Jamaican being one of the world's top surfers. Well, this evening, this interview is not so much about Mystic Revealers. It's about the man, Billy Mystic. It wouldn't be fair to have him talk about a group when he's just an individual. When we do the group, I want them all here. So we're going to find out what makes Billy tick. Who is this man, Billy Mystic? Who is he? What makes him get up each and every morning? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, from Rock the Mic, help me welcome none other than Billy Mystic. Billy, how are you doing, sir? How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, because we have life. So as long as we have life, that's the greatest gift.
As long as we have life, there's hope. Good. Billy, first, I want to thank you for appearing on the program. I've been trying to get you for a good while, and through the workings of my friend Ras Charles, we finally linked up with you. Thanks for coming on, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Ras Charles. Big up Ras Charles, man. Brethren, man.
Yeah, man. We go back. We go way back from school days, you know?
All right, so.
Anyway, Billy,
connection.
True. Yes. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on the group. I want to find out about you. Who are you? So if you wouldn't mind, give us a little rundown of from the early days, from the childhood days, where you're from, where you went to school, things like that, the family life you had. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah,
Stage is
well, I'm a young boy. I'm born so far back, just about 1960 or so I'm born. I thought I was a Pisces, but I find out he's an Aquarian.
You're Aquarian.
I'm going to grow most of my life as a Pisces, but he's really Aquarian based on the moon. We get to find out there's a moon phase thing,
Oh, okay.
I'm born to a mixed race family where my mother is a white lady and my father is a black man. Father is Wilmot and mother was Carter. My grandfather migrated from Jamaica to Canada. My father born in Canada, married my mother, and have a couple kids in Canada, then come back to Jamaica and then me born in Jamaica.
Okay.
So me are the only one out of my siblings them were born in Jamaica. I had two siblings born up there. So I born and grew up at school in Jamaica. Start out St. Jude's Prep School was where I go as a young little boy. I leave from there, so, and I go one next uptown school with the name Prairie. Them. Yeah.
Oh, you're Prairie young man, you're Prairie boy. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we leave from Prairie, we go Excelsior.
All right.
I leave from Excelsior and then we go to Jamaica School of Agriculture up in Nampa. Graduate from farm school about 81. And I go work for the government as a inland fisheries
In that
extension
brushes.
officer.
Oh, okay. That's when they had those microdam things that were,
Right,
right.
yeah, at
Okay,
that
good.
time, yes. So I was working with them. I worked with them for about a year, and within that time of working, I start investing in my music because I had an income. I was able to buy a guitar
Guitar.
and to equip myself and start to look save some money and put to work because I was writing songs, but wanted to get them produced. So I was
Okay.
able to unite with Lion, bass player from the group, unite together and put together money and start the thing and buy a tape and
Wait,
do
hold
a
on.
record that tune,
Wait, hold on. I'm going to stop it. You bought a guitar first. Who taught you to play? How
Let
did
me
you?
just buy a card book, a book where you show you how to put your finger. But I learn because it's a one person teach me. We learn a lot of things from a lot of people.
A lot of people. Okay.
As when you're just learning, the person who know the name
More.
of the string, you
Yep.
understand, him can teach you the
You
name
got
of the
teacher.
string.
Right, right.
And then
Okay.
and then when you get good now and you win the Grammy Award, him can tell everybody say him teach you
And
to play
teacher.
guitar. You
True.
understand? Even
True.
and I'm not lie him I tell because him teach you the name of the string.
Right,
And
right.
that was the beginning. So we learned from a lot of people over the years.
Okay.
But I didn't take guitar. I wasn't intent on becoming a guitar virtuoso. I was primarily a singer-songwriter.
All right.
And the guitar is the easiest instrument, really, to accompany yourself and to help
Right,
you
right. All right.
with your songwriting. You know what I mean? The piano is for me, a much more beautiful, expressive instrument for singer-songwriter. But because of the easiness of moving with a
Moving a
guitar.
guitar,
You
more
can swing
mobile.
it over your back. If I want to go up in the hill, you can carry my guitar with me. Where in a piano is you're kind of restricted with where you can get it, too. So I chose the guitar, and as soon as I learned sufficient to enable me to write the songs that I had in my mind to bring them out
To bring them out. Okay.
instrumentally, so I could identify the chords and the structure of the song and I could write it down. Once I got to that level on the guitar, I didn't really take it any further. I always employ the use of real guitar virtuosos, people with real talent, because
Okay.
I had never seen myself as a real guitar talent.
All right. Let me ask you. Did you do any singing in school? You had
Yeah,
festival
man,
or
of
any.
course.
You
Yeah,
did
man,
that?
from prep school, me up on the choir, I sing and thing, and love singing from a kid. I'm a group man and grew up Bull Bay. So and growing up in a Bull Bay, even though I went to those prestigious
School.
schools, I didn't grow up in that Upper St. Andrew
Right.
environment.
In that circle. Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in a Bull Bay. I grew up at 8 Mile. And all of my friends them from a community, it's working class family. And that's the environment that I grew up in. A whole heap of Rasta in a Bull Bay.
Okay. Yeah.
So Rasta was, common thing for me. I know a whole heap of Rasta. And when people were saying terrible thing about Rasta and oh them wicked and Rasta man evil and all them
Yeah.
things
We
there.
come in. Yeah. Yeah.
It never
I want you
it
hold that
never
thought.
it never sink to me, so
Right.
I grew in an environment that different from that school, that Upper St. Andrew, but
That.
I was
Okay.
lucky enough to get exposed to that aspect because
Right.
my
So
parents were journalists.
you
You
straddled
know?
both worlds basically.
Yeah, my parents were journalists,
Okay.
and they were well read and well spoken, and they saw that education is something that they want to have. So they were ambitious for me to attend a good school that would assure me a good education.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I benefited from hobnobbing with those people, even though my parents were not financially as well off as those business people and politicians and so on. You know what I mean? But they wanted me to be in that group of
In
people
that
there.
group, right?
You know? Yeah, so
All right.
that's how I end up in that school. But when I come out now, I'm end up with Jamaica School of Agriculture. I end up in the school band at Jamaica School of Agriculture.
Okay.
As vocalist with the band there, and that's where I really get into performing on
Into
stage as
performing.
opposed
Okay.
to like just a choir in school choir or something like that.
Wait. So were you just a lead vocalist, or at that time were you on the guitar,
No, I was just singing. I want
just
to tell
singing?
you how I got into it was because when I went to the school of agriculture, Jamaica School of Agriculture at that time had one of the best school band, like tertiary institution band.
Yeah, man, I remember because about that time I was at Michael.
Right.
I remember.
And JSA band was we get a lot of work. We play at Michael too.
Yeah,
And
man.
we play at Cass and we play at UWI and we go down the country, go play at other teachers' colleges. There
Money,
was a
Sam
little
Sharp and them
circuit,
places.
right. There was a circuit that they used to do. But when I went to the school, the band was already the top band. But what had happened was the lead singer, he had graduated that
Oh,
July.
okay.
I came in the September, he had graduated in July before. But
Okay.
because the band was popular and still doing shows, the band would still rehearse. And then when the show on the weekend, he would come and we
It
would
would come
perform
in.
with the band.
Okay.
So during the rehearsals now, I became the standing singer to do the rehearsals at school. I would sing all of the songs them and keep the band going. Then after a while, slowly because him leave the school and get him job, him wasn't available as much. Little by little, I fit into that position
You
to
took
really be
over.
the singer for the band.
Okay.
And then that encouraged me so much now that I said, boy, I want to learn to play an instrument, you know, because I was exposed to musicians
Musician.
playing
Okay.
as opposed to just singing along to recorded music, you know.
Good.
That was the actual excitement of creating music. So in Bulby right here now, around me, you have some youth who were interested in music.
Interested in the
And
music.
a couple of them could have played guitar, one could have played like a keyboard, and they were writing their own songs. So I was so impressed to say, what? No man, this little group, them little youth, because them younger than me, you know, but not exposed as much to performing as me.
Yeah, as you were.
But I could see the potential. So I say, you know what? We can do this thing, you know. So seeing them playing, I say, well, from them little youth, I can learn them cards and play. You know what I mean? We must can do
You
it.
can do it too.
By this time, now I graduate from the college
Uh-huh.
and we get some money, now we can buy a guitar. And together we start work. And then this was Lion, Patch, Jawad, some of the foundation members of the group, the Mississippi
Okay.
Freelance Group, you know. And that's how we really start out doing it together ourselves, you know, and we really step up from there, you know, and we get blessed so that we could do the things we did and go the places we went and
So wait.
made the progress we did. You know?
In the early formation of the band,
Yes.
at what stage, at what point did you realize that you guys were good?
No, I believe in myself from early.
From early.
Yeah. I was most disappointed because we went around and did lots of audition, you know. And nobody never picked me out of in the audition and say, yeah man, we want to work with you. We go everywhere.
Everywhere.
We go Miss Pottinger, we go High Times, we go Tough Gang, we go Aquarius, we go all over. We do audition whenever audition was being held. And remember we go Tough Gang go do a audition. A Family Man was
Family Man Barrett.
yeah, he must have conduct the audition. And we go there, we play, we sing and sing, and he say, you have any more? And we'll play our next one, because we have a whole heap of song. Play our next one. He say, what? You have more? We say, yeah, man, and we'll play our next one. And say, you know what? Some nice song, you know, but that's not what we're looking for. You know, see it. And that's next, we have to leave.
Next.
And we go to a whole heap of them thing there. So what end up happening now is me say, I start questioning now, because we knew in the business. So I start ask some question of myself. I says, so why is it now that we need a producer? Why are we doing this audition? Oh, forget a producer. Produce it. So what is this producer going to do? So I start asking, oh, this producer, him going to carry up the studio and make a tune record and put it out and thing. And I say, so, but anybody that can do that, and I talk to me, he say, no. I said, you have to have a tape, you know. And him have the tape. You can't make a music without a 24-track tape. You know, see? And that the music I go up and I'm going to book studio time, I'm going to pay the musician, them, I'm going to pay the engineer, I'm going to mix it, I'm going to make stamp, I'm going to press the thing. That's why you need a producer.
Okay.
You know, see? So me said to him, my next question is, so how much for one of them tape there?
How much for the tape?
Yeah. So we just decide, so we find out how much for the tape, I'm going to stop and save, We buy a tape, we book with studio time, we hire a musician, we record the first song,
Wow.
put it out ourselves. A song named Winner. Every man wanna be a winner.
Okay.
Our own a label, we design and do artwork, we own a label, get it pressed and everything.
What
All
year
them
was
thing
that?
that about 1980, about 82, 80, about 82, 83, that them time.
So you were way
Yeah.
ahead. You were way ahead of most of them other musicians, man.
No, not really. It was,
I
we were
mean, I,
following.
I mean, taking things over in your own hand. You know.
Right. Well, other musicians were doing it, but much more established musicians were doing that. In terms of musicians coming out of the ground. Yeah,
Right. That's what I
well,
mean.
yeah, we were, other people were doing it, but as a result of the fact that you're just getting into it, most people you don't hear about them.
You don't hear
A
about
lot
that.
of other people probably can tell you the same story I am telling you about their career and how they
Right.
started as well. So I would never claim to say that we were unique in that way. A lot of people did want to do that. A lot of the pressing plants made money from small orders, not just from the big
From the big
1,000
ones.
copies. Yeah, sometimes it's 10 little small producer coming in and pressing 100 record each would make the 1,000
We made
record.
it.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it's not all the while, but it was a way for the small man. You could have print 100 record and you could have sell them $2.50 a one. You'd have see a profit. And there were lots of record stores around the place.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could go and leave 4 copy there and 4 copy there. And when people come to the record store to buy a record, the man want to sell records. So if him like a song, him say, listen this one, listen, him a go show you a record from them.
Okay.
And, you know, so music would move them way there, you know what I mean? So we did that, and that's how we kind of came into the scene. But one of the best thing that happened for us really was that I got to link up with Jimmy Cliff.
Okay.
And we met Jimmy Cliff. I got like a small bit part to play in a movie named Club Paradise, in which he
Yeah,
was one
man.
of the stars.
Right.
He was starring with Robin Williams, and his band was in it as well. And I got a part in the thing as a member of his crew.
Okay.
You know, they selected me, did them casting, and them come and pick me and select me to be act as one of his crew. So it ended up being, while the film was being shot, I was automatically around them and all that. So I got to meet all the members of the group and that type of thing. And because we were making music by them times together and having some song, you know, it was very encouraging for me. We end up after a while, Jimmy Cliff have me up at him in rehearsal studio. We got access to his rehearsal studio. Whenever I'm on tour, he would leave the studio key with the engineer and tell him so we could use him studio.
Wow.
So it was a real mentor for me, you know.
A mentor for you, good.
Yeah, and he released one of our first international release was a song called Mash Down Apartheid, which we donated proceeds to the African National Congress. Yeah, and Jimmy Cliff was instrumental in getting those connections for us to make that type of donation to the struggle against apartheid at that time.
All right, that's good, man. Listen, I never knew all those things, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners didn't know all that. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Billy Mystic on Rock the Mic. Billy is the lead singer and for Mystic Revelations, and he's also Revealers, and he's also one of the world's top surfers. We're getting into that. don't be too humble, Billy. Don't be too humble.
I want a Jamaica top surfer.
All right, Jamaica to the world.
I get a little world ratings. You know,
well, no, we're coming to that. Don't bust that out yet. But we want to deal a little more with Billy. So, Billy, when did you start your family? And let's hear the size of your family.
My family started in 1980. I was the first member of the family. You know? So when we take my wife 1980, we lived together for about 2 years. Get pregnant. First son born 1983.
83, okay, first son. Second one now?
Born it was, oh God.
You're not trouble now.
1984, December. 1984. Yeah. My wife has another girl certain information.
Wait, hold on. I saw on a videotape. I saw on a videotape on YouTube. She was saying something about your guitar playing. Or you used to ride over the guitar and you couldn't play it. Is that true? Was there any truth in that?
Yeah, that was the first. That was the day when I buy my guitar. I buy a guitar and
Oh, that
start.
was the day you buy it. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I buy it that day and I'm a ride with it. I'm gonna ride a bike them time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go look for my girl and she live way up on the mountain.
Mm.
So I buy the guitar on a Friday now, pay day. I'm gonna get my money, I'm gonna go buy the guitar, I'm gonna go look for her, so I'm gonna bring the guitar and I'm gonna play it them time. I mean, that's a time I learn to play the guitar.
So there's a pose,
And
eh?
she laugh after me because our roommate
Mm.
I show me say, row your boat and play
That's
C and
funny.
I show me how to put my finger, you know. So,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
So
All
that
right.
was from 1980. I have 5 kids. I have 4 boys
Okay.
and a girl. You know?
For boys and a girl. Okay.
Yeah, and 5 grandchildren up to now.
Any of them follow you in the music?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. Yeah, man. Everybody do something if he's even shake a
If you
tambourine.
haven't shake tambourine.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But
Oh,
my son, Aine, my second son,
mm-hmm.
him is my third son. First son plays a keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Aine play guitar. Ika, my third son, him play bass. That she's a poet. You know, she do poetry, spoken word thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I mean, but she's a percussionist as well. You
Does your
know,
wife play anything?
yeah, man, she play the queen. She
All
play
right.
the queen.
She play the
She play the
queen.
queen. She the queen of the thing, you know.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. So, and
Did it?
my youngest son, him build beats and rap and
Oh, okay.
everything there. Yes, I mean, a
All
more
right.
modern thing. I'm the younger one.
Oh, yeah, true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, get on to some more serious thing about the musical. No, over the years, everybody has watched The Wailers, Third World, Inner Circle, and they've watched those bands achieve a high level of notoriety and fame. What was it, or what is it that has kept Mystic Revealers a bit down? Why haven't they got to that level? And their music
Well,
sounds just as good, if not better, than some of those bands I call.
yeah, well, I mean, I think it's mainly it was a timing thing. Those
Okay.
other bands you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
had like about 5 years, 6 years
Oh,
head start on
head
us.
start on you. Okay. Mm-hmm.
When we came in, Bob Marley had passed, and there was a big scramble by the Jamaican industry to present a heir to the throne.
Or to fill that vacuum.
Started
Mm-hmm.
and they started pushing Yellowman, King Yellowman, and the dancehall thing. Because there wasn't enough people making the caliber of music that Bob Marley was making to fill
Okay.
that void.
To fill that void.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the other bands that were of that caliber were already on the road. Burning
Okay.
Spear was already touring. Third World was already touring.
Okay. I
Bob
see.
Five
Mm-hmm.
was touring. I mean, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
bands, were out there on the road as support to Bob Marley, the headline.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Bob Marley, who was able to generate that type of uh, attention, draw that type of attention to
Mm-hmm.
Jamaican music. The other bands were performing, but none of them were the type of star that Bob Marley was.
That Bob was. Mm-hmm.
They didn't have that support behind them, the type of support. A lot of the top acts at the time were signed by Chris Blackwell and not given the same type of promotion
Okay.
in
I
order
see.
in order to push one artist because you need to spend your money on your headline.
Okay. That's what you mean.
So, so,
Mm-hmm.
so, so when Bob Marley was on top, all of the energy, finances that we had more um, generated in terms of interest from people who would invest in Jamaican music. At
Mm-hmm.
the time, Bob Marley was that name. So when he was knocked out so quickly, there wasn't really everybody else who was there. There was no new shining star.
Mm-hmm.
All of the other acts were performing since Wailers too. You know what I mean? All of them
All
other
right.
groups, there was nothing really new. You know what I mean? So it's like what was new and what was exciting and what was busting up
Uh-huh.
the place. It was dancehall and Yellowman and you know what I mean. People were already being introduced to Super Cat and them and
Right. Right.
them had
Okay.
already chopped certain bush out there in the world already with dancehall. So it's like dancehall was like the new thing. because they couldn't reproduce Bob Marley.
They could, okay, that's what you mean. Okay.
So it's like yellow. There was a big push for that type of dancehall, electronic beat, sling thing, kind
Yep.
of rhythms, moving away from live music, moving away from live band music. And we came out right in that little crunch period.
Okay.
When there was, it's like what we were doing is like, no man, we hear that already, that this is a new thing now. You know what I mean? So I think we suffered with that.
Okay.
What really assisted us to achieve what we did achieve was the fact that Europe and America were also maybe 5 or 6 years behind the curve in terms of what was happening on the street, in terms of popular music in Jamaica.
Okay.
So they were still ready for music
Still
like
ready for you guys. Okay. There was
they
still
were
a
not,
niche for you guys to
yeah,
fill.
they had not switched from traditional reggae over to dancehall. Dancehall music was creating a new market. It was younger people buying into the dancehall thing, and but the established reggae market was still listening to Bob Marley, Peter
All
Tosh,
right.
Burning Spear,
Burning
Jimmy
Spear.
Cliff, Israel Vibration, all of those groups, and African groups as well, Lucky Dube,
Lucky
all of
Dube.
those type of groups, Steel Pulse was able to foothold in the place
Right.
as well
Steel
as
Pulse. Right.
one,
As what?
because there was a market up there. That was a market that really saved us.
Oh, okay. I see.
When no one was hearing anything about us in Jamaica, we were touring every year to
You were touring
Europe.
every year. So
Yeah.
can you name me some of the countries you guys have performed in?
Oh man. We perform all over you. When we know perform, maybe it's easier for say when we
Yeah. So what you do
we never perform in Russia.
in Russia?
No, we never perform in some of those Eastern Bloc
Eastern Bloc
countries.
countries.
Yeah,
Okay.
but apart from that, I mean, England, Scotland, Wales, Norway, Finland,
Wow.
Denmark, Sweden, France, Germany, Spain,
Wow. Globe
all over
Trotters, man.
Europe, man. Yeah,
And
man,
what
all
was the
over
response?
Japan.
What was the
No,
response
man,
like to you guys?
them love with them used to love it. That's why we were able to tour every year. That's why we were on Reggae Sunsplash, because of what we were doing abroad. And Reggae Sunsplash knew that there were lots of people coming up from abroad
From abroad.
to
Oh
Reggae Sunsplash, for Reggae Sunsplash in Jamaica in those times.
my
It
gosh!
attracted a huge overseas population.
But isn't that strange? Isn't that strange, Billy? You had to go abroad to get popular to come back, come perform a Sunsplash.
Yes, and that's what really helped us with Sunsplash, because they knew that we had a following
You had a following,
abroad, and
okay.
there would be people who would travel to Jamaica for Sunsplash who would be familiar with our
Familiar with you guys.
Yes, so that was really what helped us, because we were like the next big thing out of Jamaica, where self-contained band was concerned back in those days, as far as that overseas market was concerned.
Okay. That is fantastic, man. That is fantastic. So let me ask you something here now. You mentioned dancehall. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but dancehall music, how do you see that impacting original reggae? Has it added to it, or has it taken away some of the luster? What do you think? Is it good for the music or what?
I think that Jamaica, unfortunately, has still not found a way to capitalize on what it is we have in terms of music, in
Okay,
terms of
explain.
talent, in terms of potential. I mean, put it this way, I like to draw a parallel. Jamaica is also well known for our athletes all over the world.
Yep.
I mean, scouts come to Jamaica for boys high school champs to identify potential stars and future stars, right? That is a fact. Every school in Jamaica, regardless how tiny it is, I would vouch to say that the biggest day of the year for the school is probably sports day,
No doubt.
automatically. And I believe that if you go to the tiniest little basic school with the little 4-year-old kids running around,
Yep.
And if you go to one sports day and there's a little child running around like a little young Usain Bolt, you can probably predict the development of his career. He might end up go one of the top high
Yep.
schools. He's going to end up getting a scholarship to go to some college or from some track club or something. He's going to run Diamond League. He might go end up be worth $1 million. You know what I mean? There is a career path. Music has never been like that in Jamaica.
Never.
You never had that type of support.
Why do you
If
think that's
music
so?
had that, if music had that type of support, for the real talent we have, the real musical talent we have come from the ghetto. Its voice is crying out from real emotion and real pain,
Struggle.
real joy, real satisfaction. You know, some rich people, them for them extreme emotions few and far between. You understand? Them not get excited when they make $500,000. Them have to make $10 million for really get excited.
So you mean?
But you see a small man, him get all $1,000. Him nice for the day. And him poor, it take less to excite him. So him quick for sing, him quick for sing a really happy song. When him get $100, the rich man can't come up with that because him not a feeling. Him afraid say boy him never make 10 million instead of one. You know what I mean? When the poor man love him girl and them go out together, if he's even going to seaside and she kiss him for the first time, it means so much to him. You know, see it where the rich man know him have to think, oh, I'm going to impress this girl and carry her go this one, really one bag. You know what I mean? The whole thing is a different energy. So the real music, people feel struggle and pressure, have to fight to survive. When them sing about struggle and pressure, it's a real song. It's a real thing. It's not some talented musicians and songwriters sitting down together in a top of the line studio, putting some cards together and say, let's write a song about the difficulties that poor people face. You know what I mean? It's
come from
not
the heart, right?
Yeah. So you find Jamaican music, that's where it's come from. All of the hits. You can do your own research. Look at all the top artists from Jamaica. How many of them came from some established musical background? Very, very, very small, tiny minority. You understand? Everybody's story is some haphazard, hopscotch type of way they made it into music by luck. It happened to be somewhere when somebody was passing, or them go deliver something at the studio and them look through the window and them start singing and somebody say, hey, my youth, you sound good, or whatever it is. Yeah, you know what I mean? So therefore, we haven't had that infrastructure. Why doesn't every school, bearing the fact in mind that Jamaica has a genre of music, a recognized genre, tiny Jamaica, that is recognized under the Grammy Award, right? We have a reggae Grammy Award, okay? That's how we recognize our music.
So recognize we are.
That we have that genre of music, okay? America has not one. America have jazz, R&B Grammy, hip hop Grammy, okay? If we took our music serious as Jamaica, there would be a mentor Grammy, a ska Grammy, a rocksteady Grammy, a reggae Grammy, a dancehall Grammy.
Mentor and all everything there.
Everything.
So you think we need a... Wait, sorry, cut you. You think we need a career path, right? A track from basic school right up.
The children in school, from basic school. Just like how you have a coach who is working like a spotter to find that fast youth or that youth that can bowl, or the one who good enough football. You should have the one that look for the singer, look for that great potential drummer, that instrumentalist. The children should have exposed to music from an early age, so that if them have the talent, it could be developed. So that the natural raw talent is there. You shouldn't only be able to have that talent. The only way you can develop as an instrumentalist is if your parents can afford to send it to private music lessons.
So you think the whole thing about festival in school, you remember that whole program? You think that has failed?
Yeah, right now we need more support for those things. All right, imagine if you had, in the same way you have the school champs, high school athletic champs. Imagine if we had a national program where you had a national high school music championship. And it was held at the National Stadium in the same way. And it went on over a week. And they had competition in all the genre. Best ska band, best school mentor band, best vocal trio, best vocal duet, best song original, best original composition reggae by a reggae band ensemble. Rare gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal,
That's where you're coming
class
from.
1, class 2, class 3.
Class 3. All right.
You find that some little country school every year them win the mentor gold medal and you can't get them out. And them come and them mash up the stadium with the mentor music. Or a ska band come mash up the place and the school. You know, say if you're a child love ska, you have to send them go to that school. Just like when you talk about athletics, you know, say if he's a distance runner, where we send him, if he's a sprinter, if he's got a sprint factory, where you go to understand. Why we don't have something like that for music? Look how much money music command for Jamaica and attention, and we have no infrastructure to develop it. We don't even have a state of the art performing center in Jamaica.
Billy, I really hope some educators are listening to you and will listen to you. I really hope this news gets out and your ideas get out and we can get somebody to really implement some of your ideas, because that would be good. Honestly, I think it would be good. I think it would be good. So, as a seasoned performer and musician, do you mentor any youngsters?
Well, I think not officially.
Not officially.
Like saying I mentor this person and that person. They're in my file and I have a file. But I've contributed a lot towards the development of a lot of the young artists' career by, along with my family, providing a space for young upcoming talent to express themselves. You know, Jamnesia is my home, and we over the years, for the past maybe 12, 15 years or so, I don't know exactly, but we had been keeping this Jamnesia session every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, okay.
Yeah, we would have, because over the years, we accumulate a certain amount of equipment. We were able to set up like a band stage. Every 2 weeks, we have it's almost like a open mic, but open stage.
Right.
So like musicians could come, not just somebody who want to sing, but if you have a guitar, you could come and plug in a guitar and feel what it's like to be on a stage with your guitar and play with musicians and a drummer, because people go to school normally them learn drumming. When them graduate, there's no drumming job for them.
There's nowhere, right?
Them go to maybe them play at them church band as a drummer in the church band, but apart from that, them kind of looking for somewhere. And then there is Jamnesia that every 2 weeks music play, and if he's a drummer, you can come there, and if you come there, and somebody even playing the drums, after them play for 15, 20 minutes, you can say, beg you play after the drum, and you're going to get up and let it change. So that was a very fertile ground for the development of a lot of talent, and that has been Jamnesia has been identified as the home of the reggae revival movement.
Revival. Okay, good.
Yeah, so like young artists, the young artists that have come through Jamnesia experience as when no one knew them and gathered experience of what it is to perform on a live stage with live musicians in front of a live audience. Because reggae music is sadly lacking with that as a developmental tool for young artists. They don't get opportunity to perform in front of live
audience.
You know what I mean? They might write a song, might rehearse it, go in the studio, record it, it might play on the radio, the sound system might play it. Then after all of that, a promoter keeping a show, who do that hit song? Oh, this artist, call him, I want him on the show. And all of a sudden now, he is at this profile, it's high profile, supposed to be able to deliver. And here he's now going on the stage for the first time.
Wow.
And it don't sound like when he normally sing with the recorded music. It sounds different now.
So different.
It's live music. Maybe the bass line slightly different, so it throw him off and there's nothing to distract him. And it might end up doing that very well.
I never looked at it from that point of view, and I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who have never thought of that side
Okay,
of
so
it. Wow.
Jamnesia provided that opportunity for these young artists. And when I say these young artists, artists that came up through the Jamnesia experience that people would know is like Chronix,
Chronic. Oh,
Protege,
but what?
Danine, Raging Fireban, Nomads, um, um, Lila Ike, Savannah,
What?
all of these young groups
So it's a
and
real breeding
artists
ground
that
of
coming
talent,
up.
man.
Kabaka Pyramid, Jesse Royal, all of these young
Right.
artists came through the Jamnesia
Came through
experience
Jamaica program. Okay.
and gathered that self-confidence so that when they were introduced to the wider audience of it, they came across as very polished and experienced and had a following already from Jamnesia. You can imagine that listening to Chronix for 2 or 3 years before anybody knew about him.
Before anybody knew about it.
By the time he was booked on a major show, all of the Jamnesia crowd turned up to that show to hear him because they know him and go mash up the place. Because they know him as a
Okay.
star from
Okay.
before.
Yeah,
So
man.
and all these young artists now would share the word amongst each other that if you're coming up as a young artist, you know, do not yet. If you not play Jamnesia and mash up Jamnesia, it's
Jamnesia
like
is the place to go.
there's something missing
That's a
from your
proving ground.
from
That's a
your
proving
experience.
ground.
Yeah. So in terms of mentoring in that manner, I would mentor because the artists would come up and if I see a talent in them, if I see them have something they need to tighten up or work on, I would call them and say,
Yeah,
yo, you need more eye contact with the audience.
you give them more pointers. Okay.
Just you're interacting too much with the band. You know what I mean? Remember, you're here for the audience. The
For
band.
the other, okay.
Nothing wrong with interacting with the band, but yeah, you know, we kind of give them any little thing of
Yeah,
notice.
like a pointers.
Some of
Good.
them go up and take up the mic out of the stand, but them leave the stand on the stage. We say, Bridget, if you take out the mic,
Right,
move the
move
stand
sir.
off of the stage. Take control. Don't hold the mic and walking around the stand like the stand is a person or an obstacle in the whole presentation. Yeah? So
Okay.
sometimes it's little things.
Some little things, Yeah.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you can tell him you need to work on your key, you need to work on your timing, you're too laid back, more energy or whatever. So,
Okay.
mentoring in that part.
Okay. So, Billy, with this thing on COVID, how has COVID set back all your performing and so on?
Yeah, well, just like everybody, you
Everybody.
know what I mean? Yeah, you know, big setback, you know.
So I guess
So,
with COVID now, you must be doing a lot of writing, right?
not really, you
Not
know, I
really.
do writing and inspiration when I see things to write about.
Okay.
And I never can tell when the inspiration coming. It's not that thing when we can switch on and off.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
that is true. That is
You
true.
know, so it's like sometimes I will feel so strongly about something that the minute I pick up my guitar and start strumming, that will be the foremost thing in my mind. So
Okay.
whatever I start strumming is like my mind is going that direction.
The mind
And
going
that
that direction.
help to support what I'm strumming and help to shape the form of the way I'm strumming and the energy I'm putting into the strumming. So if it's a sad thing, let me consider when I take up my guitar, I automatically ever start play some, you know, laid back
Yeah.
cards or
Okay.
something, you know. So that's usually how my writing go. But you know, the COVID, the great thing was that I was able to release my album. You know, we released the first in 25 years.
25. What's the name of the album?
It's called Jaja People, you know,
Jaja
Mystic
People.
Reveal
Okay.
as Jaja People. It's 12 tracks.
12 track.
Um,
Okay.
in 2019, my house burned down. We were working on the album at the time, and we lost a lot of the material that we
Oh
were
gosh.
working. And then, so in 2020, we got back heads down and decided we're going to record the album. I bought a few pieces of equipment and ended up recording 75-80% of the album was recorded on my veranda with me and my kids during the
Yeah.
production.
Whoa.
So we feel very proud about that part and feel good about the songs we were able to capture. You know, it was very nice in the fact that we weren't under the pressure like back in the day when you had recording contract commitments. You had record companies involved in the production. When you have a record company spending 20, 30, 40,000 US dollar on your album, you know, they have a talk in what you're
Right.
doing. And as you're going along and working, Them have somebody to come listen how it's going and this type of thing. And them have them opinions, and then them go back to the big guys them up there, and they might come back to you and say, we were thinking,
Right.
maybe we could
Maybe
get
you
you
could
to
do,
work
yeah.
with this producer. You guys could fly up to LA and do some work. He really likes your stuff and he wants to do, you know what I mean? And start take away your thing from your
Take
little
away thing,
mile.
but yeah, true.
And it end up your thing, but
You
with
don't
a
sound like you.
it sound like you because it's you. You know what I mean? But it's slightly different than what
Different.
you maybe had envisioned in the beginning. You
Wait,
know?
as a songwriter, I'm always curious when I talk to musicians. What comes first? Is it the music or the words? Music or the lyrics? How do you
For
go
me,
about it?
it's 90% of the time is the music. When I take up
Then,
my guitar, that is what. But as I say, the thought will be probably there
the
even
thought will be
before the
there.
music. Like the opinion that you hold. You might not even think that I'm going to write a song about this. But it's like you hear say one man rape one 6-year-old girl and cut her up and put her in a bag, and it touches so much that this feeling in you know what I mean? Like, well, somebody could have really do
Oh,
something
somebody
like
could do
how
that.
can a human being that man, and tears come to your eye when you think about it, and imagine if it was because you have people in your family were dear to you that age, and you
Yeah.
imagine and yeah, God forbid anything, what would I do?
What
You
would
know
you
what I
do?
mean? And you feel so emotionally charged about it. It's like, and you're a musician and you have your guitar. Maybe you don't run go for your guitar, but maybe later in the day you
And
sit
then,
down on the beach and you have your guitar and you forgot. You're not even thinking about that particular thing. You're watching the youth them a play, keep up and you have your guitar and you pick up your guitar and you start strum some chords. And as you strum 2 chords and thing, your mind flashback on that, and
and
right
that,
away the mood is set. The
okay.
chords start to take on the mood of what you're thinking about. And then I would might hear a melody, and then when I hear that melody, then a few words come through on the melody that are relating to what I'm feeling emotionally. You know what I mean? Then I might say, you know what, this feel like something. Let me get a piece of paper and start write
Okay.
it. You know what I mean? Because as I said to people, I don't really feel like I write the song. I feel like I'm like an antenna. The song is out there,
The song is out there.
and like I can. Some of the
Transfer.
time it's like I feel it like when the old time AM radio when you tune in the station is like
Yes.
you hear it and it man, and,
Static
and
coming
you,
in.
you
Yeah.
tune it back and you have to set it and you take the antenna, you twist it and hold it up and hitch it up with a clothes hang up on the window, and you get in on it. It kind of feel like that.
And it
It's like
transmit through
you
you.
can the feeling that there's a song there, but as you play, you know that this isn't it, but this is very close. There's something else I'm feeling, and you're searching, feel.
Okay.
And as you get closer to closer, you get that sense of realization that yes, I'm getting there. And then the lyrics start to come. So it feel like so this song is out there and it's Jah really a singing song, and you are hear it and I try chief it.
Do
You know
you
what I
make
mean?
any attempt when you write? Do you make any attempt to make sure the words rhyme or just free
Yes,
flowing?
man. Yes, I'm a poet in the way I
You're a
write.
poet. Okay.
Yeah. I do a song, it's gonna be a poetic song, you know what I mean? If I do a song named um, Space and Time.
Yeah, man. Space and time.
Standing in the footprint of who's been here before, not just another mortal, or nowhere something more. A spirit that live on through every age and time, but like a thought, although eternal, still must occupy a mind in space and time.
Go on, Shakespeare. Go
So many men have fallen, so many men will rise. So many have a dream. We see it shining in their eyes.
You have a guitar
But,
in here, then,
but
Billy.
dreams are nothing new. No. But we all have dreamed before. But who can take their dream and make it something more
More.
in their time? So your life is there before you and time is moving on. And in just a little while, it will seem your life is gone. So take your chance and make it into something that will grow. Don't let this evening find you with nothing there to show for your time. Yeah. So all of my song them have that creative melody approach. You know?
Wait, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Billy Mystic, lead singer of Mystic Revealers. He's giving us a lecture here on music, the way he does it, the way he has done it, and the way he'll do it in the future. Anyway, Billy, last question on music before we move on. As we move into 2021, how have you and the band been affected by the move from, say, vinyl to digital? Has this really affected you guys? And if so, how?
Yeah, man. When vinyl was a sell, we make a whole heap of money. We were able to sell quite a bit. We were able to finance our career and be able to go all the places we went to. We were able to finance the production of records. I mean, we spent a lot of money. In those days, it wasn't cheap to produce an album. And we produced our albums at the highest level with the best musicians and the best studios. And all of it was paid for. And we did videos. I mean, when we were doing our video back then, it was 16mm film. It wasn't digital. You know what I mean? And to hire 2 Arri camera and 10K lights and director from New York and a whole heap of money we spend over the time. A whole heap of people eat food half a week. Time, you know what I mean? So, but record sales were there. You know, you sell one record is $22 US for one album. You know, so if you even sell one 60 or 80,000 record times $20, the record company smiling. You know what I mean? They don't have no problem with giving you spending $20,000 per year. Okay. So you were able to generate funds when record sales drop, because right now I can give you a survey if you go do and say, everybody you meet, do a survey, ask them when last have they paid for a song.
True. Piracy,
in any form.
True.
You know what I mean? And they might tell you, say, oh, them have an account at Spotify or them have, you know what I mean? But how much one of them song really generate for artists? A few cents or not even a cent. If you now have 1 million views, streams, you're not really seeing any money. You know what I mean? But in those days, if you're a small man and you produce an album, and you could have produced an album because you're in the ghetto, you know the musician, them live side of you, and you and them used to kick football and spin gig together. You understand? You can go in the studio and get all of the top musicians them to help you produce a thing as a small man. And when you sell the first one at $25, you sell it for. And if you print 100 of them and sell 100 of them for $25, you understand? You have 2,500.
So wait, bootlegging. Has it affected you guys, though?
Of course. It affects every artist.
All right. Yeah. All right, Billy. We're going to make a shift from the music, from dry land to water. All right. Now, Billy, as a renowned surfer, where the bejesus did you learn to surf? And when did you learn to surf?
Well, I live at Bull Bay, you know. You see, St. Thomas in the east and Portland are the 2 roughest parish where sea is concerned. The prevailing waves of the Caribbean move from east to west. Them heading west. So the eastern end of the island come in like the part of the island facing the sea. Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, Black River, all of them things around there, that is like the back of a boat. You know anything about boat? When you're in the boat, if you go up at the bow for riding on the boat, you get the roughest ride. When you ride at the back of the boat, you get a smooth and more comfortable ride. The same way. So I grew up in a part of Jamaica where the sea rough most of the time. And growing up as a child on the beach, you learn to swim from early and you learn to interact with the sea when it's rough. And one of the ways in which you interact with the sea when it's rough is surfing. You naturally go out in the water and when the wave is coming, you swim with it, and the wave have sufficient energy to pick up your body and transport it all the way into land. And you learn that if you have a little flat piece of board, you could have go out there with that. When you swim, you can lie down on the board and lift your body out of the water by line on the board. And you kind of come up above the water and skim over the top of it. You know what I mean? So you learn about that, and then you learn if you have on a pair of swim fins, it give you more push, can
Okay.
go out easier. So you learn how to ride the wave then from very early. So
From
me
very early.
was what I was doing body surfing and belly boarding as we used to call it.
Uh-huh.
From the 60s, from like 66, 68,
Wow.
them time there. But I get my first real surfboard in
Surfboard.
1974. So that was when I was exposed. I mean, I'd seen people with surfboards in Jamaica.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't the first surfer in Jamaica.
Okay.
There was another group of surfers, my senior, 5, 10 years older than myself at the time, that were already surfing in Jamaica. And they were the ones who I clown around with. So I was like the beginner little youth amongst
Okay.
the surfer them at that time. And then because of my natural talent, I quickly, within a space of a year and a half, 2 years, I had become the best surfer on the island at that time, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of it was a natural for me, and because I knew these surfers and I had access to a surfboard, I had a friend who was a Jamaican who was going college in New Jersey at the time. He was a surfer, and he would go up and come down. And when he come down, and bring boards, and
Bring
when
boards.
I
Okay.
go up there and realize that it's cheaper to buy the materials and make your own board
And
than
make it.
to buy a
Okay.
ready-made board. So I learn how to make board. So I start make boards for me, and he was very interested in shorter surfboard design at the time
Uh-huh.
because there was a trend from longer boards to shorter boards. But when you're only buying manufactured boards out there, you only got what was a retail board, which was the more longer boards.
What's the
Uh,
difference?
the shorter board is much more maneuverable.
Maneuverable. Okay.
Yeah, so and surfing is a sport where you are adjudicated and the maneuvers you are able to
Okay.
complete while
Does
riding surf,
does a longer
while
board
riding
give
the
you
wave.
any advantage in anything?
Um, it's in terms of what we see as popular surfing. No, not
Uh-huh.
really.
Not really.
They have a division for longboards
For
because of
longboards.
it's a traditional way of surfing. They've preserved it by having a form of longboard surfing,
Longboard commission.
which is
Okay.
more graceful. It's a different approach
Different
to
type. Okay.
riding the wave. It's a much more artistic way of riding the wave. The shortboard is much more active, aggressive type of surfing. So the shorter surfboard allows you to pull off more tighter turns. You
Take a
can turn
turn.
a lot
Okay.
more tighter. You can execute your maneuvers in more critical points on the wave because you have more control over the board when the wave is actively breaking. You can maneuver and maintain control more easily, with the
So,
shorter board. And at the time in the 70s, this was just coming on. So I had the advantage that he was making his own board and making these experimental boards, which were being made for the top surfers in
okay.
the States and Hawaii and that sort of, which were not yet perfected and on the open market as yet.
Okay.
But I was able to experience that transition from longer board to
The
shorter
shorter
board and
board.
was introduced to the short board quite early. In Jamaica, I was one of the first ones surfing on much shorter board. That
Okay.
gave me an advantage and propelled me to the front.
All right. So it propelled you to the front in Jamaica here. Now, at what time did you realize that, look, if I want to get better, I got to head overseas?
Well, I never really did. What happened was that, as I say, I got my first surfboard in 74, and Mystic Revealers took off in the late 70s, early 80s, throughout the 90s till about 2001, 2002. So it's like while surfing, the music pick up.
Okay.
So I was surfing, I would surf when I have time, when the wave, I live here, so when the waves good, I surf, that sort of thing. Then I get some kids, the kids them I grow up, I teach them for surf, not taking it serious, just teach it more serious for my music career,
Okay. Right.
teach them for surf, teach, give them my old board them for surf on. We have very good wave, consistent in Jamaica, no crowd. So when the child goes surfing in the water, them get a lot of waves in a session. We're in a popular place. It's so
Right.
crowded that when they go out
You
a
have to
session,
wait.
them lucky if them get 2, 3 waves for themselves. mean, but in Jamaica, my kids go out and can ride 30, 40 wave in a session, no problem.
No
You know what I mean?
problem.
So them advance really quick. And then what happened now is as a music career took off by the 90s, now I'm gonna start tour. And the kids, them a get bigger. Them are 11 and 12 and 9. And them a get big now. We start tour Europe and thing, and then we get the American tour. When we get the American tour, it was the first time we had toured to the west coast of the United States.
Okay.
That is where all of the surfing
All of
is
the
in the
surfer.
Gulf. Here me is a surfer in Jamaica from 19 how long, coming up now and getting my first tour to California, where it's the heart of
Heart of
surfing world.
surfing.
I was so excited. So when we went there now, I wanted every city we go to San Diego, you know, when we go to Encinitas, when we go, all of the places we go, we want to see the places that I saw in the surf magazine. You know,
Okay.
so the first place when we go, when we got to the West Coast, we had a show in Huntington, and Huntington Beach is like Surf Central USA.
Yeah.
It's like we got in like the show was like the Friday night, and we got in like the Thursday night. And we wake up early the Friday morning and get a taxi and go down to Huntington Beach. No, this is it. Strip all of the big surf shop. Them Jamaican have a surf shop. Even though Jamaican have a surf shop.
The surf shop.
It's like, but then no one it's surf shop beside surf shop. And but when we go to see, I do some little wave a come, some little joke wave. So I'm kind of confused because when we look in the magazine, every time we have a picture of Huntington Beach, it's like the prettiest wave I've ever seen in my life. I'm come now and say, wait, I see them wave, and when we're looking at the water, I say, holy people, 100 people out in the sea, left, right, and center. Everybody are trying. And God bless a few of them will look like them can surf. Most of them are struggle. I mean, what? So me I say to myself, I wonder if I'm the right place. But me I say, you know, maybe like a man say where you live and you say Kingston.
Yeah.
But I really poppy in your live. You know what I mean? I wonder if them say the wave, it's Huntington Beach is a wave, but you have to go down so or up so or it's not really right. Yes, sir. So I say a man I come with him surfboard. So I say to him, say, excuse me, is this Huntington Beach? He say, yeah, this is it. I say, yeah. So I'm to the wave them. He said, there's some out there. I just got a few, you know. I say, but I see in the magazine the picture. Say, oh, that magazine. Say, those pictures are pictures of the best days in the year. So that's you only get those days, some days in the year. I say, yeah, I lie. I say, yeah, man. I mean, it's not good every day. Come on, you know. But myself living in a Jamaica, surfing in a Jamaica, me think we never have wave.
Yeah.
Because when we are looking at the book,
In the book, and I see that.
we not see no mash up like a small wave and a wave with breeze or kind of make it difficult or no. And
It's
many
like,
at the time when
it's like when you used to watch Hawaii 5-0 and I'm sure the pipeline.
yeah, you just expect it's like that every day. So hear me is now, me 30 years old now, 30-year-old now. You understand me, I deal it. And for the first time in my surfing life, the reality coming through to me now, say, image we made it was completely different.
And I say go.
So me come now, and when me see now, me start go around the place. But me say, but we go down on the beach and me see the youth them and surf. I say, but my youth them can surf better than the whole of them youth, yeah. So I say, you know what? Next year when I come back, a different thing.
Different thing.
When I come back after that tour now, kids them now, I buy a camera, I buy a video camera, one of video, mini DV camera, and come and start video them a surf now. And me see videos of the people them a surfing. Get videos when we go up on tour, we buy video with all the professional surfers them and carry come show the youth them. So me see how them shoot the video them. I start shoot my youth them on our wave them. I'm going to shoot them on the best gear them, the best prettiest wave them. See me like how them a do. And put them together and put them on a cassette. Go back the next year now for go tour now. I have the cassette with me. So now I'm down days them now on tour when I'm at the West Coast now. I go at the surf shop them now. I'm go at the surf shop and I'm give the man and say, yo, look here. Every surf shop have a video thing I play. And them can't believe it's at Jamaica. And the response when I get, I meet a little man who have a surf shop. And when I tell him, say, boy, my kids them have to surf on my old surfboard and I need some board for little kids them. I say, you need some board? I say, come here. The man can't go around the back of the surf shop. And the surf shop where make a whole heap of board for liquor kids. And them sponsor some liquor top surfer kids. Them have some top board for liquor kids. And the man just go in at the shop, take out a brand new coffin. Coffin out the bag where them pack board them. And give me about 6 surfboard for the youth them. With leash, wax, pins, some magazine, video, everything. Pack it up and zip it up and say, hey, and just give me it for free. And never charge me $1. Give me it. I'm say, well, come back to Jamaica and put them on the board now. Because film brand a board them. So I video them, I ride film boards them now. I send the video them, go give him and him excited. I say next, you know what, I come up there this summer. I come up there for one of the contests them where you sponsor and bring my youth them. And some carry my youth them go up there now and my youth them play them. All of them make semi-final and one of them make final and come second in the final.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So them go on good. And so now, as a music by this time now, coming through the 90s now, and I introduce them to the surfing and them I get good. And then the idea is about this music thing starts slow up now. You know what I mean? We don't have the support from the record company like first. It was a big aggregation. When we go on tour, a 10 ticket we need, 11 ticket for the band travel. It wasn't like just filling me stick. Our backup singer and we can use one band up there. And you know what I mean? It was expensive to move Mystic Revealer. So it starts slow. So it's like, what me I gonna do? Maybe all them picnic and now, them a grow, them a go to college and thing. You know what I mean? Luckily, the big one, them, in a them time, in the 90s, them gone to school, now we can pay for them education and them get to go university, go Canada, go University of Ottawa, go George Brown College of the Culinary Arts in Toronto, them go UE, them go UTech, you know, them get together, you know, them go Edna Manley, and them never take a loan. You know, we were able to, me and my wife were able to get money together and work hard and with help from family as well. You know, because we have family up in Canada where give them a place to stay for help out. So we were able to cover all of them things then. You know what I mean? Then now here comes the surfing becomes the thing now where we realize there's a big industry out there in the world and what we have in Jamaica really credible in terms of the quality of the wave them. So we go up and a push say, you know what, we're going to develop surfing in Jamaica. We're going to build up. My wife didn't always want to have a hotel out in the country, up in the mountains and things. But we never did have a certain amount of financial resources. Again, like we was anticipate about the music, I go bring the money and we can do everything. And that kind of slope now. So we never see how we would have maintained where we live at Bull Bay and building a place in the country and the kids going to school and maintenance and the 2 property them, 2 space at one time. So my wife was very disappointed. You know, like some boy, I let down the dream of we didn't have and we would have a bill. And so me said, we could try and make a compromise for you. We can make like a surf camp. A place where surfers can come like a little hotel, but instead of it up on the mountain, it's up on the beach and then come for surfing. Have some rooms and we carry them out, we tour them around the island and carry them to the different surfing spots. So that's how the music now end up. It's kind of take a side.
Take a detour.
And the surfing becomes the push. You know? So how do we attract surfing to Jamaica? Because we need surfers to come to Jamaica to stay at our place, help as an income, a tourism source, financial stream, we rely on. Head above water. So we have to promote the surfing is in Jamaica. So we need to organize surfing in Jamaica. I don't want to attract kids into surfing, and when them get into surfing, it has done nothing for them. Take them away from other sports. And as a result, them end up having to get a work. I want to know say, what are the career opportunities in surfing? So if somebody's a really good talented surfer, what are the possibilities for sponsorship and career development? How do they get recognized? What kind of platform is necessary to provide that launch pad for their careers that they may have? All right, you know what we need to form an association. So form the Jamaica Surfing Association. We got affiliated with the International Surfing Association.
What year was that?
That was about 1999.
99, okay.
Formed the Jamaica Surfing Association and affiliated with the Pan American Surfing Association and with the World with the International Surfing Association and
Okay.
started at that time to field teams of our youngsters to the World Surfing Games, the World's Junior Surfing
Okay.
Championship, Pan American Surfing Games. So we sent teams there. So the first team we were able to send off was, I think it was 2001 or 2002, and that was to South Africa. We sent 4 surfers.
Oh yeah, I hear some good waves down that side, man.
Yeah. Cold water. But over the years since then, we've sent teams all over the world, lots of young surfers. And the thing that was so different about the Jamaican surfing team was that surfing is a sport of the elite. A
True.
surfboard is not a cheap.
Not that cheap thing. Yeah, I've
It's
seen.
very delicate, easily broken and damaged, and expensive to maintain. An ordinary surfboard today, a competition standard surfboard, by the time you get to Jamaica, can easily be $1,000.
Yep,
You
I've
know what
seen
I
the
mean?
prices.
Right. So it's not cheap. You can get some like a cheap thing, but at the top of the game, if you want the real thing, it's gonna be over $1,000 if you get a competition standard professional.
Board.
So it's expensive. So the thing is that Jamaica Surfing Association got a lot of international support in terms of goodwill. A
Okay.
lot of companies were willing to sponsor the
Coming to-
association and the national team. We're able to get surfboards sponsored, not for individual surfers, but for the Jamaica national team,
Team.
so
Okay.
that our surfers were able to access surfboards. One of the unique things about surfing in Jamaica, as opposed to a lot of other countries where surfing takes place, our good waves are in the eastern end of the island, and our tourism product is at the western end.
True.
A lot of other locations where surfing takes place, the surfing and the tourism is in the
Same
same
place.
section of
You're
the
right.
island. So because of that, the best surf spots are at remote locations around the
Location.
eastern seaboard.
Yep.
And you find that the kids who get exposed to surfing are not from Upper St. Andrew, because the kids from
Right.
Upper St. Andrew, they go
Yeah,
to
that's what I
Ocho
was.
Rios to go
That
ride
was gonna
jet
be my
ski.
next question. Yeah.
They go to
Okay.
jet ski in Ocho Rios
Yeah.
and and they're not really going to come out to Portland and St. Thomas, a bush, go out on some lonely place where they're
Lonely.
afraid
Yep.
to lock up them car up on the beach because there's nobody there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you find that the kids who get exposed to surfing are from working class family,
Okay.
fishermen, school teachers, domestic helpers, farmers, kids who live around the seaboard who know how to swim, get introduced to surfing and become adept at it. So when we started taking the team abroad, I remember we went to the Huntington. We ended up going to the World Junior Surfing Championship at Huntington.
Back at Huntington.
It was like 2005 or 2008 or something like that. And we went and we took the junior team there. And I think it was first time that we took a full junior team to the games and had surfers in all 3 divisions. Um, and I remember I was walking down to the beach and the president of the surfing ISA was coming up the beach, and it was during a heat. We didn't have any surfers in the water, so I had the opportunity to go up to the road to get something to come. And it's quite a long stretch from the road down to the beach, maybe 100, 150, maybe 200 yards of sand. It's quite a walk down to the water. So they had put like some sheets of plywood on the sand to make a walkway. The majority of the traffic was channeled down the walkway. But there was not a lot of people coming and going because there was heats in the water, actively competition, and it was exciting. And I was walking down towards the beach, and the president of the ISA, Fernando Aguirre, was coming up. He's from Brazil. He was coming up, and when he saw me, because we had the opening ceremony, and Jamaica was a big hit at opening ceremony. Because when we were coming with all the kids, like, we're way underdogs. When you come in so low, your first heats, you're gonna be up against the top surfer them from all over the world. Bottom tier go against top tier, so we're probably
So
gonna
it's
get
like
knocked out.
so it's like cool runnings, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get knocked out. We're gonna get knocked out in the first, probably in the first or second round. We're probably all gonna be knocked out. Guess what? We have the opening ceremony, we have the parade of nations. So you go up and you bring some sand from the country where you come from, and you pour it in this glass container, and all the sands going and make a nice pattern. And the people cheer each country as them come up, each team come up on the thing. They say, we're not going to win the International Surfing Association World Junior Surfing Champions, but we're going to win the opening ceremony. You understand? So when we march, come up and everybody else very orderly, and march, come up and go up and wait them turn and go up and wait them turn and go up and wait and go on and forth. When we come down the long line, every time it stops, you go up and people them do them thing and go on and then the next team go up. So the line is not a flowing line, it's a go and stop one. And you come from way down the end of the pier. You see it, and with a J. So we're about halfway down the line. You see it, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. It's there with Japan behind we. And so we are come up the thing. So every time it stops, we just step on the thing and people crowd the pier. And we left one love. I'm seeing some Bob Marley and the crowd like, yeah, and a cheer and everybody went up at the front and look, so by the time Jamaica reach up and we go up on the stage, you know, the whole place tear up.
Mash up.
The next country, Jamaica, yeah. The whole thing is we. So it's like that didn't happen. And here me is now during the competition coming down, and here comes the president. So him see me and him, Jamaica. I don't remember my name, I know. First we really have a meeting. And him stop and him say, boy, he want to make me know how happy him is that Jamaica is now a member of the family, international surfing family. And he want me to know how happy him is, and we bring so much to the world of surfing that me don't even really understand. You know, see, I mean, say, really, why you say that? Him say, you realize that the Jamaican team, blackest team in surfing. He said, look, Pine Cross, Pine Pan, South Africa, not where the South Africa. Little Jamaica is blacker than all of Africa. Because South Africa team, here, white kids.
Yeah.
Him is so happy because we bring some color come in the family of surfing. You know, see, because surfing is such a white privileged sport.
White sport.
And in Jamaica, our culture of surfing was so obtuse to that, just due to the fact that it developed in the east end of the island where there was no privilege really. St. Thomas, the forgotten parish, Bull Bay, some place where people actually say, no, go live out there.
No, go there, so yeah.
Yeah, there's a dangerous and the sea will drown you and it's spinning hole in the sea and you know what I mean? So this is hello. Yeah. So so this was the whole thing that when we come on with a bang. So people hear about it. So even when the contests are going, even though we don't win the contest, the press interview we come out in the surfing magazine and pictures how we come out. It's like Jamaica get a big bill up. So that is when we say, you know what, we can make this camp.
Okay.
We often say, come surfing at Jamaica with me. Our face, you see. The same Jamaican is a small community. You have to surf with the star. Not like say you have 10,000 surfers in Jamaica, you have to come surf and you have to well privileged from know the man. You know, with the right in your face. Right. And we have picked you up from the airport. So that end up now start pick up and people start coming into trips and tour and we have to come tent and make a little tent ground so them could have come and camp and you know what I mean? And then after a while we have one little shed built up. You know what I mean? First year we open up the thing and with tents and thing, nobody not come. And my wife start fret and say, boy, that look good, you know. And me I say, you know what, my face I just throw a tent, you know. People like me say, you know, yeah, I'm gonna make a website and I'm gonna make a website. Say, you know what, we need some like a plyboard room. If it's even some plyboard room. So build some like a plyboard room with zinc roof. We made the hut first. You know, see, I will put in we fix it up. No, the first room, Maggie, the first room was where most of it. We fix up that. The first thing we fix up, a little zinc long bar ply, make one like a room. And then we have a bathroom, so we have to make a bathroom. And we
Yep.
need a couple more rooms of plywood. So we take time, build up a room, take some picture now. And the room inside of the room, paint it out nice and put some curtain and thing. Take the picture of the yard, take picture of the place, take picture of the road, the environment, the community. Make a little website, put it out. One people start coming,
Come in. Okay.
start work, help people keep on the light, people keep on the internet,
Okay.
advertise a free Wi-Fi. I mean, it's a free Wi-Fi, like, what the place? No, man, it doesn't sound like it too behind the times.
The magic
Yeah,
of Wi-Fi. Eh?
yeah, so that help way and thing. And then people, the first set of people come was people from the press. People did see in a Huntington, big magazine to them. And them was the first one that were really come. You know what I mean? So people them come from Surfer Magazine and Surfing Magazine, the top area they call them in the industry, and them come. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And the video special from Jamaica. And when them come, them get wave and so the thing them where them at, where them do when them come down, them up there say, why? You know, when we was coming to Jamaica, we never even know what to expect. You know, we never know we don't even get here, but when we come and we say so we get here where, you know, just overhead, but double overhead. They can't believe it. And the standard of the surfing where the youth them have in Jamaica, you never realize so we think high up there, up, up, up. You know what I mean? And so hearing that from the pros, the professional surfers who sponsored, came to Jamaica and did them expose there, that helped cement it more in the surf culture out there.
Okay.
Everything about good and the COVID come now and nobody can travel.
So that just
Whole
mess
thing
things up.
from
That just
now.
mess.
Yes, so right now, me under pressure. Me have my house burned down 2019. And I think to me that finish it long time. And but due to the lack of financial stream, you know, and the life we are trying to keep on right now, you know what I mean? So it tight,
Yeah,
you know.
the
We have
thing's
kids,
rough.
we have
But
kids,
we just have
five
hope that this COVID thing get cleared up so you can start again. Let me ask you something, Billy.
yeah.
Just plain surfing. Have you ever thought of adding windsurfing or kite surfing? Anything like that?
So I'm kind of against them thing there.
You're against it? Why?
Think they carry too much equipment.
Too much? Oh, the cost.
When I
Okay.
say I'm against it, I mean, this is surfing. Surfing is the highest sport, highest form of board sport
Okay.
in the universe. Not even I say world. World too small. Just the world. It's like, yeah, you understand me? In this dimension, yeah. Surfing are the highest. All of them other board sport was invented by bored surfers, frustrated surfers, people who couldn't get to surf. Them want to surf and can't surf, so they make a skateboard. Them grew up against the sea and learn to surf, and then them parents move to Lake Ontario.
So them
You know what I mean?
they
And
depend on
them
the
have
wind.
them have to depend on a wind thing and try
Okay.
to do something. Them go ski and make a surfboard kind of thing to ski, like a surfing
Snowboard.
ski boat, snowboard. Them, you
Okay.
understand? So, but all of them are just aspiring to try and recapture what surfing is.
What surfing is?
Surfing,
Okay.
surfing is the highest manifestation of that form of athletic endeavor.
Endeavor.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
All right.
So surfing is the closest thing to flying without flying.
All right.
Yeah, But surfing, you ride the energy of the ocean. The same ocean that flat, sometimes it have big wave. So
What's your
there
hardest?
is
What's your hardest thing in surfing?
the hardest thing in
The hardest
surfing.
part of the whole maneuver?
Hardest part is paddling out after you ride the wave in.
That's the hardest part. I tried go up on a board one time. You pick up, as you call it, pop up.
Yeah.
I couldn't do
Pop
it.
Yeah, man, because maybe the teacher where you have. If you come to Jamaica Surf School, we'll have you up in your first lesson.
In the first lesson, oh my God,
Yeah, man.
that pop
We
up.
have the reputation there.
Okay.
And you don't look like you weigh 300 pounds.
Well,
It shouldn't be too
the
hard.
camera tricks me. I use this,
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, if 300 pounds and 280 pounds can do it,
Yeah.
also can do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm watching some videos of you guys and other professionals. Do you teach your kids to like read the waves?
You don't
No,
have to teach them,
you don't have
them
to teach
learn
them.
it.
They learn
Them
that,
learn it.
but they're going
It
to
come
break
in,
left.
it come in like all when you catch up a fire and the breeze a blow the smoke and you're rounding at the smoke. And you just automatically know, say, I'll come around the next
Come on
side.
the side as well. Okay.
Yeah, so same way the sea is a natural phenomenon, natural energy. You know what I mean? It's the sea real like how the earth real and like how the sky real and like how the wind real, the water real. So the surf, the energy of the sea have its own personality. Sometimes it's rough and angry and aggressive, and next time it's sweet and loving and calm. You know what I mean? It have that energy. So it's like by interacting with it and realizing that it have its own way of moving, to learn. So in the beginning, you teach them. Say, see a big one a come and watch out until them eye get used to
Get
see
you
when
see.
the big one coming. Then once
So
them
at
see
bull.
the big one coming, them learn for themselves too. So you, of
Okay.
course you teach them the basics,
The basics.
but them learn more by experience
By
than by what you
experience.
can tell them.
So at Bull Bay, the waves are mainly we call you have beach waves or beach breaks or reef breaks. How does it go? At Bull Bay,
Yeah,
which
man.
one you normally have?
We have mostly reef we have
Molly Reef.
in Jamaica, yeah.
Okay.
Our beach break them few and far between. Maybe up
Okay.
far beach or Hellshire, some
Okay.
place like that. And even then, the waves that break out there, even though there's mostly sun out there, they tend to break over reef patches where
Oh,
the
okay.
wave will form. Because wave have
Okay.
to break over something shallow.
Okay.
The water don't get shallow suddenly, and the wave that is the swell that is coming in won't stack up
Okay.
and break. It have to be going over an obstacle in order for
In
it to
order
break.
in order to get that break.
Right. So you're
Okay.
looking for places where there is an open ocean swell approaching the shoreline, but there is a submarine obstacle with
Obstacle
a
there.
reef,
Okay.
a geological formation at the bottom, even if it's just like a hill underneath the water, the topography of the ocean floor.
Ocean floor.
Some
Okay.
places you will have a little place where it just naturally get shallow in that area. Or it might be a river mouth where the river wash a whole heap of thing, go down out in the
Right.
sea. So in
Okay.
front of the river mouth, the water might shallower,
So
because
for
the
the
river
wave breaks
pile up
over.
stuff up, so the wave break in the shallow
Okay
water
then.
there. Or on a point of land, we have a long piece of land stick out in
Stick
the
on the sea.
water. So it's like against the edge of it coming down, the wave might form and break from out where it touch the land out at the
All right.
point, take time form, come down the line. So there's certain geological or
Things to look for.
bathymetrical formation of the ocean floor that allow for a wave for break in a manner such that you can surf on it. And
All right.
this is unique places. Them is like them just going now into experimentation of creating artificial waves.
Artificial.
Yeah,
Okay.
but them don't really perfect making a reef in the sea that cause a really good wave to
A
break.
really good wave.
Them,
Okay.
them, them have perfected now how to make a contained body of water like a pond or a lake,
Yeah.
and put certain
But
equipment in there to
yeah, put the
generate
machine in.
a
Yeah.
wave.
I've
So
seen that.
them doing that now.
All
But
right.
in terms of Jamaica's waves, them breaking the shallowness that cause them to form is reef, mostly is reef. So the wave
Reef.
breaking over reef, which is much more challenging because if you
Much more.
fall and hit the reef, you can damage yourself.
Oh wow.
So our youngsters, them really good. Them learn how to surf in shallow waves that break hard over shallow reef. So them get really good. When waves
Oh,
break over reef, them tend to form that pipeline.
yeah.
That because it gets shallow so quick. When you have sandy bottom, it's harder to have like a sudden change in depth
Okay.
because the
Okay.
water kind of smooth it out, so it will
Smooth it
get
out. Okay.
shallow
Makes
gradually.
sense.
The wave don't break suddenly, kind of take time, come up, take time, and then crumble over
Come
and
on.
break, softly. But when it coming in like this and all of a sudden it buck up on a piece of
Yeah.
reef, it just basically trip and
Pitch up.
fall
Right.
over.
So
Yeah.
let me ask something.
Mm,
Billy, you carry your kids to a new beach. You hear about surfing then. You get out of your vehicle. What is the first observation you guys make? What do you do first? What do you teach them to do first? First time they're going to surf here.
You look where the takeoff point is. That means that when you catch the wave, where you want to be when you're taking off on the wave.
All right.
You're going to look for current. Because once waves are breaking and going in, there's a lot of water rolling in. And once it's rolling, it have to go back out. So based on the same idea, the topography of the ocean floor, it will run out where the water is deeper. To run off of the shallow into the deeper water. So if it's breaking over the shallow and get piled up on top of the shallow, it run off of the shallow and try to make itself its way back out to the deeper water. So you will look on the water and you can tell by the surface motion of the water which way the general current is tending. You can see if there's a rip current going out. Like sometimes there will be two reefs close together so that the water is rushing between those two reef obstacle and it will speed up through there, so you will be able to see it a lot easier. You know, sometimes you might have to watch a bit of debris floating on the water and see how it moves. So you identify which way the water, and then you identify the way to get into the sea, because sometimes the entrance may be challenging, it may be rocky, there may be pitchings along the edge of the water. You know, the waves could be very aggressive at the very edge of the water. It might be rocky and aggressive. You know, you might have to approach, look where is the best place to enter. And if it's difficult finding a place to enter the water, there'll be a challenge when you're exiting as well. Like, how do you come out? So you look for those spots and say, there look like a good spot to go out and come in. And then once you basically identify that and you figure that much out, then the next thing is you get your board, strap on your leash, jump in the water and go get some, you know.
All right, okay. For a right-hander, for a right-handed surfer, what's the best stance?
No, well, you see, you have a stance. It don't matter whether you're right-handed or left-handed. You're going to have a natural stance.
You're going to have a natural stance, okay?
Yeah, you're going to either want to stand with your right foot in front or your left foot.
Or the left foot behind. And the leash is attached to the back foot.
Usually what we do is we tell people to put their hands up like this and put them fingers together like this. And the thumb that is on top, usually that is the foot that you would put in. So you can test yourself. If when you put it the other way, if it feel awkward like
awkward, okay.
No, this, whichever way you feel easier to you, that is the one.
All right. But just watching some of the videos, I never even knew there was a surfing etiquette. Can you go over some of the surfing etiquettes for us?
Well, I mean, you know, there's a priority for who have the right of way.
Right of way.
Particular wave. You know, the person who is usually closest to the first breaking point on the wave, like the steepest or biggest part of the wave. You know, the person who in the water has maneuvered themselves into a position so they are closest to the highest point on the wave.
Highest point.
They usually have the right of way.
Right of way, okay.
Someone riding a wave have right of way over anyone paddling in the water.
Okay.
When someone is riding on a wave, it is you as a person paddling out. It's your duty to get out of their way. And not them to avoid you, not because they are surfing and can maneuver. Your situation is get out of the way, and you're supposed to know where is the operating ground on the wave, the operating face, where they are going to be actively engaged in the wave. And you have to try and stay away from that, even to your own detriment. You know what I mean? So even if it means taking the heavy white part of the wave, the whitewash, if it even means letting that hit you as opposed to trying to go around the edge of it to get over without it. And that is the most aggressive part, that white foamy part of the wave. That is the part that pushes you back the most. So if you're paddling out and somebody's riding the wave, they don't want to ride in that part. They want to ride on the unbroken section. And you paddling out now, you are going to tend to want to go over that unbroken part. Someone is riding, you have to go tend yourself towards the broken part. So you have that right of way as well. You know what I mean? So, but in competition situations, they have a priority system to ensure that the surfers in the heat all have an equal opportunity at riding waves. That you don't have a hustle like I'm trying to get to the best part. I'm going and hustling. So once you have ridden a wave, you go to the last priority.
You're going to
the surfers, you have number 4 priority, and the person was second priority they have made. When you have the main priority, you can choose any wave you want, whether or not you're at the main peak or not.
Oh, okay.
You have priority to choose the best wave you want.
Oh,
So it changes it up. So that takes it away from the more aggressive surfers ended up getting the better waves, because some people, they may be a very good surfer, but that might not be that physically aggressive and not like that aspect of over the wave. So they brought in the priority system to sort that out, and it
sort
worked
that
very
out.
good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But in general free surfing and leisure surfing, usually the better surfers get the most waves.
Get a better way. Any chance of Jamaica hosting a big international event in surfing?
Yeah, we have hosted a number of events. We used to host the Maca Pro competition, which is a professional surfing competition, regional event that attracted surfers from all over. I mean, even surfers from other parts of the globe who happen to be traveling in the region at the time of the event would participate as well. But
Okay.
it was mainly the idea was mainly to get event a regional event that would provide a larger platform for our local athletes,
Okay.
because surfing in the Caribbean is not very well known, apart from Puerto Rico and maybe Barbados as the only two islands that have quite a bit of publicity in the surf. Not maybe not in general public. Shh, be quiet, please. Um, with a lot of publicity because of the fact that they have been frequented by surfers from Florida who
Oh,
know about
okay.
the good waves in the Caribbean. But
Wait,
they mostly go ahead.
sorry, like our track and field have a diamond league. Is there a
Right.
thing like that in surfing?
Profession. Yes, there is the World Surf League,
Sorry.
which is a
Okay.
top 32 surfers in the world competing in the World
Oh,
Surf.
oh, okay. Anyway,
But
Billy,
them have
one last.
qualifying series going
Okay.
up to that.
So, are you still an active competitive surfer?
No, I don't compete
You
anymore.
don't. Okay.
Too old for that now. But I compete. I
Go on, call
compete
long age, is it?
when I paddle out. When I paddle out surfing, I automatically am competing for the waves that are
You,
available. So I'm still competitive that way, because when I go out, I'm gonna get my wave. So I'm gonna be hustling for the biggest wave too. You know what I mean?
so,
And
how do the boys feel about competing against a dad? Any of them can really
well,
dust you out?
informal setting, yeah, man, the whole of them better than me. All of them better than me. You
And
know?
one last question. I always
Yeah.
want to know this about surfers. I see a lot of surfers spend a lot of time waxing down the board. Does the wax really help?
Yes. All right. Imagine in your house, you have a tile floor, smooth, pretty tile. And you throw some water upon it. You run out of the bathroom and I go take a second bath.
You want me to broke some
Wait,
part of me, right?
all right, all right. Well, what the wax does with the same thing like what would happen is if you take a candle and rub it on the floor,
On the floor.
it
But
gives traction.
Does the water wash it off?
No, it stick to the thing that to your wife. It's like, imagine if you take a candle and go on your car glass and write my name. And you forget that off. You can't just throw some water for wipe off that candle wax. You'll probably have to use something and
Scrape
scrape
it.
it off
Yeah,
to get it
I
off.
always wonder about the wax
Yeah,
thing. I
so
always wonder.
it provides traction. Otherwise, the surfboard will be very slippery because it's fiberglass, polished fiberglass.
Okay. Yeah, man. Billy, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I've learned so much. I have learned so much,
Right?
and I'm sure all the people who watch this interview will have learned a lot. And I want to say how grateful I am that you took the time out to come on just to have a chat with me.
Yeah,
And I'm
man.
hoping that one in the future we can, when COVID is over and the music picks up again and the surfing picks up, I'm hoping we can do a
Yeah.
follow up to that.
All
So,
right. Sound
Billy
good.
Mystic,
Respect.
guidance, my brother, one love. Thanks a lot,
Highlight
man.
the
And
last guy.
thank wifey for allowing me to have you for what? Over 38 minutes. Tell her many thanks here, sir. All
Yeah.
right.
And the grandkids too, me have to
And the
tell them.
grandkids, yeah, because I know they
Yeah.
want you. You didn't call them for granddad. Billy, thank you, man. Guidance.
All
Take
right.
care, bro.
One love.
Okay, easy.
Let job
Rock
be
the
played.
mic, signing out, guys. Thank you, Billy.